Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Of Dice and Third Baseman. Today we're once again going to step into the World Series time machine. We've set the date for Sunday, the 14th of October of the year 1923, where we'll see Game 5 of the 1923 World Series between the visiting New York Giants and the homestanding New York Yankees. The series currently stands 3-1 in favor of the Yankees. Just a brief recap. In Game 1, broadcast live on this channel, the Yankees scored 4 times in the bottom of the 8th to win 6-3. In Game 2, the Giants rebounded to win 7-4, behind a complete game pitching performance by Hugh McQuillan. In Game 3, back at the stadium, also on this channel, in one of the most preposterous comebacks in the history of organized baseball, the Yankees came back from 8-0 behind in the 8th inning and a 9-4 deficit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th to score 10 runs in the final 2 innings to win 10-9 and shock the Giants. That sent things back to the Polo Grounds for Game 4, where the Yankees scored 6 runs in the first 2 innings off Giants starter John Scott, and then held on for dear life to win the game by a score of 6-4. So that brings us back to the stadium for Game 5. As we've mentioned before, in this World Series, the site alternated between the 2 stadiums in New York. And today's starting lineups will look like this, much the same as earlier games in the series. The Giants will have Bancroft, Groh, and Frisch, Youngs, Musial, and Stengel, Kelly, Gowdy, and Jack Bentley on the mound. The Yankees will counter with Witt, Dugan, Ruth, Musial, Pip, and Ward, followed by Shang, Scott, and Joe Bush on the mound. Now, both of the pitchers in today's game have some historical significance in New York Giants World Series history. Bentley, the 27-year-old left-hander who's starting for the Giants today, was the man on the mound in real life for the final play of the 1924 World Series, when Earl McNeely's ground ball hit a pebble and jumped over Freddie Lindstrom to score the winning run in Game 7 and defeat the Giants. Joe Bush was a member of the Philadelphia Athletics early in the 1910s, and he was one of the heroes of the 1913 Athletics victory over the Giants. So John McGraw knows both of these guys fairly well, and let's head down to the field and get ready to start Game 5 of the 1923 World Series. Davy Bancroft will step in for the Giants. The crowd at Yankee Stadium has more or less found their seats, and here's the pitch. It's a 596 out to the Babe and right, and it's a nice running grab by the Babe. So he's done it with the bat in this series, also getting the work done with the glove. 1 out to Heine Groh. 4:08, and Heine will draw a walk. Frankie Frisch at the plate. .545. That's hit on the ground to Aaron Ward at second. He will come up with it, and he'll throw to first for the out. Heine moves on to second. Frisch got off to a blazing hot start in the series, but he's cooled off a bit as late. And to be honest, this Giants club can't afford to have him not swinging the bat well. Pitch to Youngs, 5:49. That'll be back to Ward at second, and he's not going to handle that cleanly. It's an error on the Yankees second baseman. Youngs reaches first and Groh moves to third. The men at the corners and 2 outs. That'll bring up Irish Musial. That's a 5-17. That's back up the middle, stabbed by Bush. A nice play by the Yankee starter. He tosses to first for the final out of the inning. Yankees get no runs and no hits, but the Giants no runs and no hits, but they do leave 2 men aboard. Bottom of the first, Yankees come up to hit, and they will put Whitey Witt at the plate to start things off. 683. At home is a 693. Sorry about that. And that's going to get in the gap and roll to the wall for a triple. The Yankees get off to a hot start. Witt yanks Bentley to the outfield wall for 3 bases, and the Yankees have a man at third and none away for Joe Dugan. 469 against a lefty, and that's also hit hard down the left field line. Nobody's going to grab that. It'll be an RBI double for Dugan. Witt scores the game's first run. So 2 batters, 5 total bases, and it doesn't get any easier with Babe Ruth stepping in. And Bentley not really taking any chances with the Bambino there. Issues a walk. Puts runners at first and second for Bob Musial. 622. And that's at home is a 632. That'll be a bouncer to second, and they'll just get a force. So Musial reaches, Ruth out at second, and Dugan moves to third. Corners and 1 out for Wally Pipp. 461 against a lefty. And that's a ground ball to second. Frisch will take it and throw to first for the out. But Dugan will score the second Yankee run. As Bob Musial takes second. So 2-0 Yankees. Musial at second and 2 outs to Aaron Ward. 555. That'll be hit along the ground to Heine Groh. He will scoop it up and throw to first for the out that retires the side. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits. Both are extra bases. And they leave a man. And we're through 1. The Yankees up 2-0. Casey Stengel will step in. 571. That's a fly ball out to Musial and left. That'll be easily handled for the first out. Which brings up High Pockets Kelly. The big first baseman stands in and looks at a delivery. That'll go to the rare play chart. 516. That's a deep fly ball that bounces off the outfield wall and past the center fielder. The batter gets a bases clearing triple and must try for an inside the park home run by challenging the center fielder's arm. So Kelly is a speed 4. The center fielder Witt has a 5 arm. So Kelly's around third. He's coming home. He needs 11 or better. And he's out at the plate. So it's a triple for Kelly, and he's gunned down at the plate. Witt to Ward to Shang. Giants cannot afford to leave opportunities begging like that. That'll bring up Gowdy now with 2 outs and the base is empty. 107, it's a 307, and he got him looking. First strikeout of the game for Bullet Joe. So the Giants get a triple, but they fail to score. We go to the bottom of the second. Wally Shang, the Yankee catcher, will stand in. 419. That's a bouncer to second. Routine putout. Frisch. And Everett Scott will take his turn. 645. That's a 655 at home. And that'll be a tapper back to the mound. Bentley flips to first, and there's 2 away. To Bush. 5:15. Joe bounces one back through the box, and it gets past Bentley and into center field for a base hit. So 2 outs and a man on for the Yankees. And Witt, who tripled and scored in the first. 404, and he draws a walk. Second free pass of the game from Bentley. Yanks with 2 on and 2 out for Dugan. That's a 240 against a right-handed batter. And that's a base hit. Dugan singles. Bush will score. And Witt will move up to second, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Giants pitching staff just has not been able to find a way to suppress the Yankee offense. And that'll bring up Ruth. 138. That's a 338. And the Babe hits that right on the screws, but to the deepest part of the park, where it'll be corralled by Stengel for the final out. But the Yankees get another on 2 hits. They leave 2 men. And we're through 2, 3-0 Yankees. Bentley will get his chance to stand in, face Bush. Pitch, 122. That's a 322. Bentley has a contact 7. He will fly to center. Bancroft, who was retired on a really nice running catch by Babe Ruth in the first. 597. He's going to try the Babe again. He hits this one hard again. And this one isn't going to be reachable by the Babe. That'll get down on the ground and bounce off the wall for a 2-base hit. And the Giants are in business with a man at second and 1 out. Heine Groh walked, but was left aboard in the first. 200, that's a 400, that's another walk. 2 on, 1 out for the Giants' superstar second baseman, Frankie Frisch. 534, that's hit on a couple hops down to Wally Pipp. He'll scoop it and beat Frisch to the bag for the second out. Groh to second, Bancroft to third. But 2 outs now. Giants really could use a base hit here. Young's reached on an error in the first. Here's Bush's pitch. 649. And that's another ground ball to first base. This time Pipp will need a little help. He flips it over to Bush. For the out that retires the side, the Giants get no runs on a hit and leave 2 men in scoring position. So they fail to score in the 3rd inning. And the Yankees will carry their 3-run lead into the bottom half of the frame. Bob Musial will lead off. He reached on a force out in the first. 151. That's skied on the infield, but it won't present any problems for Bancroft, who's under it and makes the catch. The first baseman, Wally Pipp, 637. At home, that's a 647. And that's hit pretty well, but on the ground to the shortstop, where Bancroft will handle it with no problems. 2 away, Aaron Ward. 477 against a lefty, and that's a base hit for Ward with 2 outs. 5th hit of the game for the Yankees. The auto manager die is lower than Ward's steal rating, so he's going to try to get a jump, take second. He's a steal of 4, and Bentley's a hold of 5, so we need an 11 or better. He cannot go. So, nice pickoff move by the lefty, holds the runner close, and Shang will bat with a man at first and 2 outs. 261 against a switch hitter. And that's hit well to center field. Shang is a power 1, and 9 is 10. And that ball is hit all the way to the wall in deep center field. Ward will score, and Shang pulls up with an RBI double. It makes the score 4-0 Yankees. John McGraw's just scratching his head. His starter, Scott, only lasted an inning and a third in Game 4. And they really put a lot of tax on the rest of the arms out there. All right, 2 outs. We're going to see if we can weather the storm here. It'll be Everett Scott with Shang at second and 2 away. 588. That's hit out to Stengel in center field, and it's going to fall in front of him for a base hit. Shang is a speed 4, Stengel is an arm 6. We're going to follow the auto manager and try for home on every play with 2 outs. So he'll need a 12 or better to be safe. And he is gunned down at the plate. This is one thing I do like about the auto manager. It will generate outs on the bases, whereas we as post facto managers generally don't have that happen nearly enough. So it's a base hit for Scott. Shang is out of the plate. 8-2 with Witt getting the assist that retires the side. The Yankees are held to 1 run, although they do get 3 hits and leave a man on. We're through 3 at the stadium, with the Yankees building a 4-run lead. And Irish Musial will lead it off for the Giants in the 4th. 326. That's bounced to short. 1 down. Casey Stengel, fly to left his first time up. 5-12, easily handled by the sharp fielding Bush on the mound. 2 away. And Kelly. 5-63. That ball's hit in Scott's direction. He will glove it and throw to first for the out that retires the side. 3 straight ground ball outs. So the Giants go in order in the 4th. And Bush will stand in to face Bentley. 649 at home. That'll be 659. And he takes one in the ribs. Some words are exchanged there. Generally don't see the pitchers putting the ball in each other's ribs. But Joe didn't try that hard to get out of the way of that one, and he'll trot down to first to start off the inning for the Yankees. That'll bring up Witt. 203, and that's a walk. His second walk of the game. Bentley's third. And there are 2 on and nobody out for Dugan. .437 against a lefty, and that's just what the Giants needed. That's wrapped on the ground to shortstop. Bancroft to Frisch for 1. On to first for the 6-4-3 double play. Dugan was a decent enough ball player, and a number of you probably heard of him as a member of the famous 1927 Yankee club. But he did have a history of being susceptible to the double play ball. So that'll bring up the Babe with a man at third and 2 outs. And McGraw's going to put him on. And pitch to Bob Musial. He's no slouch himself. 229 against a right-handed batter. That's hit hard to shortstop. Sorry, to second base. He'll flip to short for the force. That ends the inning. So the Yankees don't score, and they don't get any hits, but they leave 2 men. And Gowdy will lead it off for the Giants in the 5th. It's a 5-21. And that's popped up around home plate. Shang will take a couple of steps back into foul ground and put it away for the out. That'll bring up the pitcher's spot. All right, Bentley's actually a decent hitter. He will swing away. That's a 398. He is contact 7. That'll be a base hit to right for the Giant pitcher. So McGraw shows a little faith in his 27-year-old, and he comes through with the goods. The Giants have a man on and 1 out, and that'll bring up Dave Bancroft. That's hit in the air to center field in the direction of Whitey Witt, but he won't be able to reach it, and it drops in for a single. Put men at first and second with 1 out, and Heine Groh at the plate. 397 to Groh. That's a base hit. Heine single sends Bancroft to second, sends Bentley all the way around to score. The Yankees are on the board, and it's a 4-1 ball game. And they have 2 aboard with 1 out for Frankie Frisch, who's grounded to second and grounded out to first. 643. That's a bouncer to shortstop, and they'll get 1 at second. So Bancroft moves up to third, and Frisch takes Groh's place at first. And with 2 outs, it'll be Ross Young's. 200, and that's going to be a bases loading walk. Bullet Joe's in a bit of bother here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Giants trail by 3. And Irish Musial gets a chance to play the hero. Bush looks in for the sign. He delivers. That's a 690. And that ball is going to be roped down the line for a double. Bancroft will score. Frisch will score. Youngs will stop at third. And it's suddenly 4-3 Yankees. And the Giants have the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second, with 2 outs and Casey Stengel at the bat. So here come the National Leaguers. Casey steps in and takes a call, third strike. Big pitch there by Bullet Joe Bush. Second strikeout of the game. The Yankees get 3 runs on 4 hits. They leave 2 big base runners in scoring position. And we're halfway through here at the stadium with the score Yankees 4 and Giants 3. Okay, we'll see how the Yanks respond here. Pip will lead it off. It's a 181. That's a walk. Bentley walks the leadoff man to start the next inning. McGraw's tearing his hair out in the dugout. Aaron Ward. 105. That's a strike 3 on the outside corner. That's Bentley's first strikeout of the game. Shang will step in. 298 versus the switch. That ball is hit well to left. Shang is 1 power plus 6 makes 7. And that ball will hang up long enough to be caught by the left fielder, Irish Musial. So it looked promising off the bat, but it comes to nothing. And Scott will stand in with 2 outs and Pip at first. That one's hit in the air out to Irish Musial on left. And he will handle it. Fairly routine out. And the Yankees are gone. Nothing doing after a leadoff walk. And we head to the 6th. With the American Leaguers up by a run, 4-3. Kelly will step in. He tripled in the second and was thrown out at home trying to turn it into an inside the park home run. And then he grounded out to short in the 4th. 252 against a righty. That's a hard ground ball to third. No problem for Dugan, 1 away. And Gowdy, who is struck out looking and fouled out to the catcher. 107. Strike 3 called. Bush's 3rd strikeout of the day. And Bentley up again. He's flied to center and singled and scored. 151. That's a 351 versus a contact 7, and that's another base hit. Bentley strokes it into left field, and the Giants have a base runner with 2 outs in the 6th. Pitch to Bancroft, 139. That's a 339. And Davey's going to top it to second base. And Ward will flip to Scott covering for the force to retire Bentley and to retire the Giants in the 6th. They get no runs on a hit and leave 1. And Bush will get a chance to lead off the inning for the Yankees. 457. He's I3. That's popped in the air to first. Simple play for High Pockets. 1 away. And Witt stands in. He's tripled and scored and walked twice. 186, no wild pitch here. 647, at home is 657. And that's a routine comebacker. Handled easily by Bentley. And Dugan with 2 away and nobody aboard. 99. And that one's tapped off the end of the bat and down the right field line. Young's had a long way to go to get it. He won't get there in time to stop Dugan from pulling into second with a double, Joe's 3rd hit of the afternoon. And now Ruth has a chance with a man at second and 2 outs. Bentley is going to pitch. He's going to pitch around the babe. That's a 270. Against a lefty. And that's skied to right field. Young's is there, and that's 3 outs for the Yankees. No runs and a hit. They leave Dugan at second after the leadoff double to start the inning. And we go to the 7th, still a 1-run ball game. And Bentley will be vulnerable to fatigue in the 7th. Bush looks in at Gurrow. 626. That's a bouncer to first. Pip will handle it himself. 1 down. Frankie Frisch. 0 for 3 with a run scored. 130 is a 330. Frankie taps that to shortstop. And he's going to beat it out for an infield hit. So the Giants have the tying run aboard. There's 1 out. And Ross Young's. 297. Ross gets a hold of that one and drives it out to right field. He's a power 1, and 8 is 9. And that's a base hit. Frisch has a speed of 4, and Ruth has an arm of 6. So we're going to hold Frisch at second. The Giants have something cooking here. Runners at first and second, and 1 out, and Irish Musial at the plate. Bush delivers 155. That's a 355, and that's popped up on the infield. Scott is under it, and he puts it away, and that's a gigantic out for Bush and the Yankees. There's now 2 away, and Stengel, who's 0 for 3 at the plate. That's a 336, and Casey hits it pretty well, but it's out to left, and it looks like Bob Musial has room, and he catches it a few steps in front of the wall for the 3rd out to retire the side. The Giants get nothing on 2 hits, and they leave 2 more men on base. And we're at the 7th inning stretch with the score Yankees 4 and Giants 3. Bush will be vulnerable to fatigue in the 8th. But before we get there, Bob Musial will lead it off for the Yankees against Bentley, who's steadied the ship since the first few innings. 300, swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the game for Bentley. And Pip stands in. 226 versus a left-handed batter. Struck him out. Consecutive strikeouts by Jack Bentley, and the Yankees quickly have 2 away. Bentley just seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on, as he faces Ward. 663 and 10 is 673, and that's a base hit. So the broadcaster's curse. Yankees have Ward at first, 2 away, and Shang at the plate. .164, and Wally works a walk. Two men on, 2 outs. Scott at the plate, the pitcher's spot due up for the Giants in the 8th. Bentley with 2 fatigue. He'll get another batter. And he delivers. It's a 4-10, and he gets Scott to hit it hard at the shortstop. And the Giants will get the force at second to end the inning. So no runs on a hit and 2 left for the Yankees. We go to the 8th, 4-3. Kelly will stand in. 491 against a righty, and that's hit deep to center. But it'll stay in the field of play for Witt. There's 1 down. Gowdy struck out twice in 3 trips. 297. Hank gets a hold of that one. Drives it out to left field. He's a power 0, and 5 is 5. And that falls in front of the outfielder for a base hit. So Gowdy's first hit of the game, and that brings up the pitcher's spot. And McGraw will, in fact, go to his bench. And to hit for Bentley. He'll bring in the left-handed bat Jimmy O'Connell, who was pinch hit a couple of times in the series thus far. And he'll get a crack at Bush with a man on first and 1 away at the top of the 8th. 423 against a righty. And oh my goodness, hit on the ground to Ward. He flips to Scott, Scott to first, double play. Pinch hit, inning-ending double play from Jimmy O'Connell, and the Giants get nothing on a hit and leave nobody. And they're running out of chances here at Yankee Stadium. That'll bring us to the bottom of the 8th. And the Giants will need a new pitcher. And that pitcher is going to be their relief ace, Claude Gennard. Now, Gennard has appeared once in this series, and it was during the fateful Game 3. He came on in the 8th inning to relieve Art Neff with the Yankees at the time. I'm having an 8-3 lead, and he only managed to go an inning and 2/3 and give up 5 hits and 6 runs, although only 2 of those were earned. So we'll see if he gets better defensive support here as he tries to hold the Yankees where they are in the 9th, as we go to the 9th. So Bush will lead it off in the bottom of the 8th. 6:45 at home, that's 6:55, and that'll be right back at Gennard. Shovels it to Pip for the first out. We're back to the top of the menu with Whitey Witt. It's been on base 3 times. 2:15. It's a 4:15. Not this time. So he skittles one right at Frankie Frisch. That'll be the second out. And Dugan, 3 for 4, with a run scored and 2 RBIs. 484 against a righty, and he skies that one routinely to center field, where Stengel's waiting to put it away. And the Yankees go in order in the 8th. And we're off to the 9th. Yankees 4, Giants 3. Giants season boils down to these potential final 3 outs. Bush will stay on the mound for the Yankees, and the Giants, to their advantage, will have the top of the order. It'll be Bancroft, Groh, and Frisch getting ready to dig in with the season on the line. Bush looks in at Bancroft. He delivers. That's a 291, and that's hit well out to right field. That's an 11, and Bancroft is 0 power. And that ball is going to hang up for Babe Ruth, who scoots under it and makes the grab. Looks like it could have started the inning off with a base hit when it came off his bat, but nothing doing. The Bambino puts it away, and Groh is up with 2 outs. With 1 out. 694. And 10 for Bush's fatigue is 704. That's also hit well. Straightaway center field. That's 9, and Groh's power of 2 is 11. And that ball also holds up. And Witt is able to get under it and make a shoestring catch. 2 outs. Base is empty. Giants down to their last out of the 1923 season. Yankee fielders up on their toes. Lots of chatter from the dugout. It'll all come down to who probably would have been the National League MVP if there had been such a thing in 1923. Frankie Frisch stands in. He is 1 for 4 and has scored a run. Frankie hits it on the ground. Man of the day, Joe Dugan, is there. He scoops it up. He throws to first. Ball game over. Series over. Season over. The New York Yankees have won the 1923 World Series 4-1 behind fine pitching and an attack that the Giants could just not find an answer for, especially in the early innings of games. So the Yankees win it in 5. The final totals for Game 5, the Giants had 3 runs on 10 hits and no errors. The Yankees had 4 runs on 9 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher will be Bullet Joe Bush, 1-0 in the series. The losing pitcher will be Jack Bentley, 0-1 on the series. And the game-winning RBI comes off the bat of Joe Dugan with his run-scoring double as only the second batter of the game. The Yankees jump out to an early 4-run lead and hold off to win the game and win the series. So congratulations to the 1923 New York Yankees. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll see you later.